Welcome to another episode of the Mid-South Sports Report podcast, episode number 5. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Besides the background, we'll deal with that one. Yeah, okay. Anything exciting going on besides Bristol Dirt?
Arkansas is in the Sweet 16, baby.
Oh, was it like, what, 30?
First time in 26 years.
26 years.
Yep.
26 years.
It's been a while, but hey, it's an exciting time to be a Razorback fan.
Hey, it is a exciting time to be a Razorback. I mean, a tournament without Duke, tournament without Louisville, tournament without Kentucky. I mean, a lot of these teams are starting to shine a little bit. I think it's going to be pretty cool to watch it. I think Loyola Chicago is going to open some eyes a little bit. I think you got Creighton going to open some eyes a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be a good one. Matt, how you doing, man?
Good, you?
Oh, man, couldn't be better. Enjoying the weather down here.
I mean, this is my first year of trying to play the brackets and stuff for the U.S. college stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's about good for toilet paper about this point.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
33.4% is what you're at, Matt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got burned by a lot of good teams getting knocked out in the round of 64.
Yeah, I didn't see Texas losing that early. Didn't see Ohio State losing that early. I didn't see Kansas not making it to the final 16. I mean, you got a lot of teams that I mean, they're wanting it back. I mean, Illinois. I mean, Illinois. Look how many you had. A former president picked Illinois. Huh?
Josh Medlock, how about them Hogs?
Yeah, how about the Hogs? Yep. But I mean, it's going to be good. We got a little bracket thing going on. I mean, I still got a shot. Coming up on the show tonight, we got three awesome guests. Got Hunter Wright coming up in a little bit. Pro late model driver out of Tennessee, runs at Nashville and been hitting some national shows. Upcoming pro guy. Got Cole Williams coming on after that. That guy, he's got some championships under his belt, and so does Hunter Wright. I mean, both of them are class acts. I can't wait to talk to them. Got Tyler Blankenship coming on later in the show. I'm going to talk about his experience on the Bristol Dirt, making a return in the late model. I think they had some trouble down there, but still was had speed. But first time on Bristol Dirt, we'll touch on it here. What did you think about it? I mean, what did you think about it, Matt?
You know what? It was a track that definitely, if you were going to show up, you probably had to bring your best stuff, freshest motor and everything like that. I mean, that track ate motors for breakfast.
Yeah, definitely did.
I don't know. I don't. There was a count up. I didn't see what the official count was, but I think every race that I saw, even heat races, there was somebody puffing white smoke at the end.
Yeah. It was that.
I bet there was over 30 motors that went.
Yeah, I think you're underestimating on that one.
I think you're looking at 50. There was 2 or 3 I know in the race. In the I think it was the open wheel modified. No, it was the regular modified race that was puffing white smoke.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
It was good. It's just, it's one of those tracks where, you're not lifting off the gas hardly at all. And those are, I mean, that's up here anyway. In my neck of the woods, we called those motor killer tracks because that's literally what they were. They were, you had to have a really good motor and it had to be strong. If it was even weak had any weakness in it at all, you were going to lose it.
I personally watched all of it and was not impressed with the racing. There was a few good ones, but for the most part, it was follow the leader.
Yeah.
You never could get the top group to come in, and once you start to see a sign of the top group come in, well, they'd stop and prep the track and take away top line.
That was the thing that I had heard, is that they were doing too much prep.
Way too much.
They just kept prepping it, and they should have just let it go, let it be.
Yeah.
Do you think they was doing was you afraid that the track prep, if they didn't do track prep, they was going to lose chunks of the racetrack? You think maybe that been a?
They weren't in danger of that, but they were losing chunks on the actual racing surface in some spots.
We've got the trucks, and we're going to talk about it a little later. The trucks are going to do 150 laps. You got 60 laps of green flag heat races for both the, combine the truck and the Cup Series. So, you're looking at close to 200 laps on Saturday and about 250 on Sunday. Do you think it holds up? I don't think it does.
They're supposedly doing prep between the heats.
Yeah, there is a 30-minute time.
They're doing a 30-minute prep between the heats. So. As soon as the trucks are done, leave the track alone.
Yeah.
You know what? You prepped it once, let it go. It looked to me like the cushion, it was developing a nice cushion and everything like that. And those guys could have started to blow that cushion up. And if they would have started doing that, we would have got two grooves, because the bottom groove would have come in with the rubber. And the top groove, they probably could have wound her up there and kept it on the cushion.
I know Sundays there's a chance of rain, but
I don't think they get it in Sunday.
After the race Saturday, they need to just keep the water truck on it all night long.
Here's the problem with that, and I agree with you at some point. Here's the problem with that. They got windshields. They can't have too much moisture in that track. They got windshields.
Okay, well then they're setting themselves up for nobody to be able to see what in the actual hell's going on.
Well, they've got a pretty good formula that worked a little bit. I didn't see too much dust, right? But we're not going to see 200.
There was at the Bristol Dirt Nationals.
Well,
they were kicked the one late model race. They were kicking up like they were rooster tails coming off of the cars.
Yeah, but you got to look. Them guys was running 15.5, 16.0s. Them Cup cars are going to run 20 to 21s. I really don't think you're going to see as much dust as what is going to be putting up in a regular show with the speed not there. Now you're going to have a lot more cars on there. You're going to have 39 cars on for the because they're not cutting the car count down. They're going to have 39 cars.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pretty good show. I'm excited to see it. I don't think they'll run on Monday or Sunday because of the rain. It's supposed to be nonstop. Of course, I had tickets for the truck. I sold them today. I didn't want to drive that 5-hour drive if I wasn't going to be able to go to the Cup race. But I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to watch. I'm not for it because I know how probably crappy this racing's going to be, but I'm going to watch it.
We're still going to watch. We're still going to watch it. We're all going to watch it.
I want it to prove me wrong. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Willie, we're going to have to address that background because you're causing a little bit of a ruckus over here in the comments.
Oh, am I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there he is, John.
Oh, yeah. He's not happy with you.
That's not the picture he was supposed to have had either.
Yeah. This is what you get when you finish bottom of the trio of us when we play fantasy NASCAR.
I don't know how possible you could have finished last with my lineup.
Well, I had Kyle Larson in my garage, but with me working third shift, it was I fell asleep some part there, and I didn't get to put Kyle Larson in. If I had Kyle Larson in, I wouldn't have finished dead last. It just wouldn't be. But
excuses don't cut it in this.
And that's a pretty picture. I love the picture. It's a pretty picture. I love the picture.
That was not the picture you were supposed to have. No, I'm saying I like the picture because you know me. I ain't a Logano fan either. But
look, that picture right there shows that he maybe blocks a little too much. I don't know. No, in all honesty, we're just having fun with it. I hope I don't make nobody bad out of it, But I was going to put the picture of the contact between him and Kensip that shot Logano in the wall, and they was kind of tied in the wall. But I didn't do that. I didn't want to make too many bad. But yeah, that is the one. I've got a picture. I'm hoping that I do not have to face the embarrassment 2 weeks in a row.
John, I'm just telling you, John, get into the charity iRacing event. He's going to be in there. You can put a bullseye on his car if you want. And,
he's going to have a Joey Logano car because he beat me in the college basketball thing. That's over.
Yeah. That is why that's why I have that on there. All right, we're going to get to this. This has been a hot topic in NASCAR, the Noah Gragson and Daniel Hemrick scuffle. We've got a video. If nobody's seen it, I'm sure you have, but we'll watch it again just for humor, I guess. Oh, hang on here. Let me get that figured out because that. Hang on a second. But guys, what y'all think about it?
Well, let's put it this way. With Noah Gragson, if you're going to come and confront him, especially the way that Hemrick did,
yep,
the fists are going to be a-flying.
All right. Did you catch the what Dale Jr. said about the whole ordeal on the download?
I didn't catch it, but
Dale Jr. finally put it the way it is. He's not going to say nothing to his crew guys about it. I think his brother-in-law was involved in it. Daniel come up, shoved him in the interview, and that was it. Noah is.
I believe we lost Willie.
I think we might have lost Willie. Oh, there he's back.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I think everybody's having internet problems.
I know I probably am. We had to get cable people out here the other day.
Well, I can't get the video to launch, but Daniel Hemrick missed a swing, or Noah Gragson missed a swing, and Daniel Hemrick.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah, he missed twice. He had one guy in the headlock. My ordeal on it, it looked like Daniel overshot his pit box. Noah come in, had to overshoot his, back up. Whether it was intentional or not, you can't really put that as intentional, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was intentional. It didn't really hurt the car, right?
Well, Gragson was on Moody's show,
right,
2 days ago, and he basically said if I was going to do it intentionally, he said I would have put it in reverse and hit him a heck of a lot harder than I did.
Right. And it's like Junior said, you can't tell somebody you got their back, and when it comes to showdown, not stand up for the guy, right? So that was the whole point with that. I'm with a couple guys that come out and said, let them two drivers duke it out. If they got a problem between themselves, let them duke it out. Put the hockey rule in effect, right?
Yeah.
Hockey rule's got a rule, the 3-man rule. Let the two guys can duke it out, but once that third man jumps in, it's you break it up, or the guy falls down or whatever. But and that brings me to the point: does the Atlanta race at the Xfinity race, is that the best series that NASCAR's got right now? The Xfinity race, the series, out of all three.
I think so.
The cars put on the most entertaining race.
Right. I think so.
I'll give it that for sure. I think the cars put the most entertaining race on of all the 3 series right now.
I mean, I think so. I mean, I think that we're seeing it might turn into a Austin Cindric show later on, but all right, we're gonna bring in Hunter Wright, driver number 29, pro late model guy out of Tennessee. He's gonna come on and talk a little bit about his season so far and what he's got coming up.
I'm gonna let y'all talk.
How's it going?
How's it going, man? Doing pretty good?
Yes, we're doing pretty well. Thank you guys for having me on.
Man, I wanted to get you on, and we was playing tag for a little bit. I know you're a busy guy. And, man, tell us a little bit about Speed Weeks. I got to go down there and watch you a couple of days before I headed over to Daytona.
Yeah, we had a pretty good run. Obviously, you go down there and you run 7 races. You hope to get a win. We never did quite get that win, but we had a couple of solid nights and didn't tear much up. So, we left out of there in good shape. Not completely satisfied with the run. Like I said, obviously we wanted to win going down, but can't be too disappointed about it.
There was one night that you probably could have got a win, but you had to rough O'Connor over Connor Jones up, and you didn't do it. And man, I tell you what, that right there shows a lot of what the driver you are, because you could have put the bumper to him and shot him up the racetrack and won, but you got the run coming off, and man, you barely missed it. To me, that was the race of the week, in my opinion.
Yeah, we were really good that night. I actually felt like we were a little bit better the next night, but we got up in the wall on the start, got pushed up into the marbles and slid up in the wall and bent some right front suspension the next night. So we were kind of chasing that the last 2 nights. Feel like we had it back really good for the 100-lapper, but didn't get to finish that one either. I got together with another car and got a tire rub. But, yeah, that race was really good. I think it was night 3 or 4, and we were really good that night. And like I said, I wish we could have won, but it was still early in the week, and I really felt like we had room to improve on the car, and we did. Just kind of struggled the rest of the week with finding some luck.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, that Speed Weeks deal, that's a pretty good deal. I mean, I tell you what, they need to call that Endurance Week, right? Because
yeah.
I got there at 11 a.m. and man, I tell you what, everybody is hard at work, and the cars don't even hit the track till 4 o'clock. I'm sure y'all was probably there. Y'all probably got there 8 or 9, and I'm tell you what, that's an event. If anybody wants to go and see a week worth of racing, that right there is it. That's one heck of an event they put on down there, and I'm glad that. I mean, you showed a lot of speed down there. I'm sure it probably it gained a little bit of confidence coming in to Nashville, I'm sure.
Yeah, we Speed Weeks, we've been fortunate enough to be able to do it the last 2 years, and it's definitely a really cool deal. It's a lot of work. You're wore out by the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty long days, and it's just day after day after day, But it gives you a lot of time to really get to try a bunch of stuff on the car, and gives you a lot of seat time as well. And instead of, racing 1 week, then waiting 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe even waiting a month before you get back in, you're right back in the car the next night. So you can just keep applying what you've learned into the next night. New Smyrna is a good racetrack for it, and the Pro Late models had good car counts. So I think it's a really good experience, and definitely a really cool deal. And anybody that is thinking about doing it, I would definitely recommend it too.
Oh yeah, it's great for experience. I mean, like Nashville don't run every week, so like you said, they run maybe once a month, and that's it, right? So you have to go venture around and stuff. What do you got going on for this year? I mean, where are you gonna run besides Nashville?
So we ran Montgomery in the Alabama 200 a couple weeks ago. We'll probably go back to Montgomery a time or two. We're planning on running the full season at Nashville, and beyond that, we aren't really too sure. We're on a pretty limited budget, so it's kind of hard to plan too far ahead. But we usually tell everybody we're for sure going to run Nashville. We'll probably make it back to Montgomery a couple times. I'd like to go to Pensacola to race there a time or two. I'd really like to run the Derby, but it's kind of hard to just go down there and run. So hopefully we get to go run a couple of Blizzard Series races, and as long as the year goes well and all, we make it to go run the Derby. And I'd like to go run some of the CRA races as well, just because they run a little bit shorter tracks. So Anderson and Kilcare are 2 races that I really have my eye on. I feel like we really excel at the shorter tracks, and they're both quarter miles. So 2 places that I'd definitely like to go. But, as far as what we for sure have is probably just a couple races at Montgomery and the full season in Nashville again, like we did last year.
I tell you what, man, you about stole that championship down there last year at Nashville. I mean, you and Cole and Fetcho boy, y'all 3 was duking it out all season long down there.
Yeah, we were close. We kind of struggled a little bit the first race or 2. They were up in the top 3, and we were like 6th or 7th. And kind of ran back up there and got a little bit close to them towards the middle of the year, and and then wrecked out of 2 races. So that really took us out of contention. When you've only got 8 or 9 races,
Right.
it's really hard to come back from a wreck in even 1 race, but especially 2, especially with Cole and Dillon. I mean, they were in the top 5 every week. So, we had a really good run at the All-American, and, so I'm excited about that. I feel like the last 3 or 4 races we were really, really good. So I'm excited about that and really looking forward to going and chasing championship down there this year.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is my opinion, but I think it's a lot of Nashville's Pro Late Models is basically a series by itself. You got all your top-notch nation guys come together for once a month, So I mean, and it's going to be. I tell you what, I think this year, the car count's going to be up there just like last year, and you're my pick to win the championship. I'll be honest. I mean, I know we got Cole coming on later. I think that that Speed Weeks is going to help you for the rest of the year. I mean, running so many races.
Right. Yeah, it definitely helped us last year, and I feel like it helped us this year as well. We took a few new things down there to try, and I think we hit on a thing or two. We struggled a little bit at Montgomery in the long run, but like I said, at Nashville towards the end of the year, we were really good, and I think we found a few things that'll help us out and changed up a few things on our chassis that'll help us out a little bit even more. So, there towards the end of the year, like I said, we were really good the last 3 or 4 races. I really feel like at the All-American, we had the fastest car the last 40 or so laps, but I struggled getting around Derek Thorne there for a while after he got around us on a restart, and wound up getting together with him and having to go to the back. So, just going to try and string together some solid finishes and finish them all, and hopefully we can get us a win or 2 this year. That's what we're really looking forward to, is going out and trying to win some races.
Yeah, Nashville's hard, man. That's a hard track to pass at. I mean, it's very once it gets single file, it's real hard to pass. I mean, what do you think about them adding it to iRacing? Have you used that a little bit I mean, I know the pros ain't really what the pros run in real life, but have you used that as a kind of a testing a little bit on it?
Yeah, I have a little bit. I don't really have a whole lot of time to get on iRacing anymore, right, between work and working on the cars and helping some other people out working on their cars and trying to secure some sponsorship deals. I'm just busy all the time running. So I don't really get to get on iRacing a whole lot, but when I do, I usually try and run some super late models at Nashville. Just, realistically, the physics and all are really close. It makes it kind of harder because you can't, when you're inside the car, you can really feel what's going on.
Yep.
And instead, when you're on iRacing, you're holding the wheel, but you're watching it on the screen. So, if you get loose on iRacing, if you get loose in real life,
you feel it in the steering wheel. Yeah.
But if you get loose on iRacing, you got to wait till you can see it to correct it. So, but I still think that it helps. I think any seat time helps. We're still new to this. Last year was my first full year in a pro late model, so I think any seat time helps. But like you said, Nashville, it is a pretty tough track to pass at. So I think maybe running enough laps on iRacing maybe will help a little bit there. It's just super 2 groove, Seems like on the restarts, I like the outside better. So actually at the All-American, Nasty gave me the outside 1 restart, and I passed him right as we were getting to the line. I was clearing him, but they had another caution. They gave him the lead back, and he never did give me the outside the rest of the race, so he got around us on the restarts. But it's super 2 grooved, and it puts on a lot of good racing on restarts and stuff. But like you say, once you get single file, it definitely can be really tough to pass.
Well, man, I know you got some sponsors. Go ahead and shout them out, and it's going to help you run some races this year.
Right. Well, first of all, I got to give a thanks to Wayne Day and Justin Ashburn and everybody at Day Racing Products. It's their cars, their equipment that they let me run, and we all work hard on it. It's our house car, so we all work hard on it to be innovative and try and be the latest and greatest and outrun the competition. So got to give a big thanks to everybody at Day Racing Products and Wayne Day and Justin Ashburn for letting me run their cars. Dale Holmes and Beach Holmes Construction, they help us out a lot. Tennessee 811, Call Before You Dig, and Zep Chemicals both help us out a lot as well. just can't say thanks enough to everybody that helps us out.
So before you go, you still gonna run the Legend car a little bit this year?
Yes, sir. We actually got to go run Saturday. We weren't planning on running, and they had first practice around noon, I think, and we seen there was a lot more cars than I thought there was going to be. So
y'all loaded up and went?
Yeah, I said, "Hey, Dad, you want to go run the Legend car?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." So I said, "All right, you go hook the trailer up, and I'll set it on the scales." So I set it on the scales and made a few tweaks and literally took and knocked the dust off of it with a rag and some cleaner while Dad was hooking the trailer up. And we slammed it in the trailer and got there just in time for last practice and qualifying.
Wow.
And was able to go out and get a win, which was cool because
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool deal for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's where when you show that 29 that Legend car show up at the racetrack, they're in trouble. I mean they're in trouble. You got a lot of wins that Legend car down in Nashville, and of course that little track in Nashville. I mean that's y'all tear a lot of equipment up down there, pretty.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Bowman Gray, kind of. It's kind of bumped the pass down there. I mean, that's the way I see it with a lot of classes. I mean, you ain't gonna pass them just cleanly. They think you got to bump the pass. You see some clean, but what do you think? You like running the Legend car more or the Pro Late model more?
Well, we run a little bit better in the Legend car, so obviously I kind of feel like I'm obligated to say I like running better, but I have a lot of fun in the Pro Late model. It's a lot more work and a lot more goes into it, but it's definitely really rewarding when you can have a good run. So hopefully we'll have some wins in that thing this year, but we've been fortunate to have some really good runs in the Legend and quite a bit of success in those cars as well. So I have a lot of fun in both. It's kind of hard to choose.
What do you think about them redoing Nashville? If they get approval from the council,
I think it'll be maybe good and bad. I've obviously you hear a lot of talk, but
right.
If they get NASCAR in, it kind of worries me for the local quarter mile divisions. Obviously it'll be good for the area in general as far as the city and bringing in revenue and everything. But what happens to the local guys? But I think everybody's really excited about the opportunity of NASCAR coming back, but just kind of unsure about what all it brings with it.
That's my deepest fear. I think that's my deepest fear because I go to Nashville, try to catch every show down there. I didn't get to catch very many down there this last year, but that's my deepest fear is if they bring Nashville, are they gonna leave the wall like it is and where it's open to run the quarter mile, or are they going to close it off? It's like, all right, 5/8, that's it. That's my deepest fear because, you only run 2 divisions on that 5/8 mile. Rest of them's quarter mile series. So that's my deepest fear, I think, with bringing it. I'm going to be honest with you, and this is my honest opinion, if they're going to say, hey, no more quarter mile, I don't think we bring it back. I don't think we bring NASCAR back if it's going to cut out the local series. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I think we lost him. Hey, Hunter, you still there?
Hunter, did we lose you?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
We lost him.
But it's a pretty good guy, man. He a lot of talent. A lot of talent there. That kind of shocked me a little bit. You wipe the dust off a Legend car, get it loaded up, and head on out, right?
Yeah.
That's the best feeling in the world when you can go and dust the car off and get a W out of it. That's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But we'll jump in a little bit of the back into the NASCAR talk a little bit until we get Cole on. We'll preview the truck series. You have I think Hunter's back. We'll pop him back on here real quick. You hear us now, man?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I lost my audio. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. But
Yeah, we can hear you. But man, we just want to bring you on here, man. Good luck for the rest of the year. Maybe you can make some CRA races and go make Tennessee proud around that area.
Right. Yeah, I like traveling. I probably like traveling more than I do racing at home because you get out, you get to see different places, and me, I like going to new racetracks because I feel like the more racetracks you can run, the better you get. Not only driving the car, but as well as working on the car and setup changes and everything. You can definitely learn a lot and try new things and maybe run into something that helps you at home. I feel like traveling helps a lot. So that's definitely one of my favorite things to do. And hopefully we get to get out and do it a little bit more this year.
Yep. Well, man, thank you for coming on. Best of luck rest of the year. Maybe you can go get a national title and back up that Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, right, thanks for coming on.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring on Cole Williams. He's the next late model driver we're going to bring on. How you doing, Cole?
What's going on, guys? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly fine, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me. It's a cool little deal.
Yeah, we started this to kind of help promote a local racing. Of course, you do a lot of it. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in racing. We're going to start off with that.
Yeah, for sure. I apologize, though. I'm in my car. We live out. I consider BFE, so this is best service whenever I can get away from the house. So we're out to eat tonight and decided I'd come over and this be a perfect time to meet with you guys as well. But I started out. I'm actually a fourth generation driver. My family, they've been racing since the 50s. Around mainly local around here. We used to have a few local racetracks around here. We had Charlestown Fairgrounds up in Charleston, Indiana, and then we had the fairgrounds right there at Louisville, Kentucky, and then of course a lot of people know Louisville Motor Speedway, which was a big part of racing for a long time, and that's mainly where my family kind of grew up and had their racing drive at was at Louisville. That was kind of the main core of our family's racing. The Kimmels raced for us for a lot of years. Bill Kimmel raced for my dad. And I said my dad, my grandpa, Terry Williams Sr., and they won multiple of the late model championships out there. But then my dad came along and he got the racing bug and wanted to race forever. And so he ended up going go-karts and late model racing. And then I kind of always say that I had no choice. It was this kind of thing. I was born in the racing. I was going to racetracks the second I was allowed to from the hospital. And then I just kind of grew up into it. So, I mean, I've always had a passion for it, always loved it. So, always kind of pushing my dad as he was racing. I was like, man, I really want to get a car. I want to get a car. And he kept telling me, I'm going to get a little bit older. And I think it was more because he was driving that he didn't want me to take his place yet. But I got about 10 years old and he decided that it was about time for me to get in the car. So he bought me a go-kart to race out in a dirt track in Charleston, Indiana as well. We had a little dirt track right there in the fairgrounds. I raced there for about a year and a half. And I didn't last very long in that. The very first time, I don't tell people very often, the very first time we ran those go-karts, it was open practice at Charleston Fairgrounds. And it was the first time my mom got to come and watch me. And there was some kid that's never been in a go-kart before and was coming around. He spun in front of me. I just barely clipped the left end of his go-kart. Well, in those open karts, I mean, they're so easy to flip. Well, she was just walking up into the stand. I went flipping down the front stretch, and it freaked my mom out. And at that time, I was like, man, I'm never going to race again. This is the end of my racing career, and it's just starting. But long story short, now we're here, but yeah, I lasted about a year, and then she said that stresses me out too much. It's too open, too vulnerable. So I got in a cage, what's called a mini cup, which you don't see any of those around anymore. Kind of like a bandolero. A lot of people, that's probably the closest you can compare it to. Ran it.
You had it painted up like Bill Kimmel's car, didn't you?
No, mine was actually, I raced for the same team that Frankie Kimmel and Will Kimmel actually raced for, Bob Peters. He gave me the opportunity to run his in the MMRA series, which was a national series at the time, which really big. They had the Baby Grands and the Mini Cup. So I ran it. I think it was 2007 is when I started those. Ran them for about a couple of years.
won the national championship multiple times, and then moved up to the Baby Grands and was planning to run the Baby Grand for about 2 years and rolled right out of the gate and was really successful. Ended up winning the championship, Rookie of the Year, stuff like that. So found ourselves in a late model really early, and kind of just rest is history. Now we're here and enjoying. I mean, I can't get enough of it.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you having many nights down here. Of course, my home track's closed now with Beach Bend. I mean, many nights down there, running the Baby Grand, running the Mini Cup. I actually went back and watched your first win in a Baby Grand when you was battling with Binkley.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of people don't know that was my first place I started a late model race too. I had my first 2 late model starts at Beach Bend.
Really? I didn't see that. That's something I didn't know. I remember you coming down and run a bunch. And of course, I mean, that place is shut down. I wish they'd revive it, But yeah, I remember that race. And I actually went, of course, you got a video on YouTube about it. He about come back and beat you that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you've got a bunch of championships under your belt. Of course, I mean, I went back, I looked, you won the Baby Grand Championship, the track championship. You won the Mini Cup track championship, and stuff. I seen you running a little bit of West Coast. Tell me a little bit about that. You went out West Coast and run a little bit.
Yeah, so that was honestly a deal I never expected. If you would have told me a few years ago I'd be around the West Coast, I probably would have laughed at you. But it's actually the whole deal kind of came through with Port City. A lot of people don't know at Port City Chassis, my family, that's all we ever ran as a chassis brand company. Louisville Motor Speedway days, kind of going back to that. When Bill raced for us, that's all they ran was Port City race cars. Always dealt with Harley. That was the original owner of Port City, and then my dad ran them. And then once I started racing, that was the first car we ever bought was a Port City, and that's the only car I've ever drove is a Port City chassis. And over time, that relationship's kind of built. Harley and my dad, they're both engineers. They both kind of clicked personality-wise. And a lot of people, you get along with Harley or you don't. I don't know how many engineers you guys been around, but that engineering personality is very unique. And Harley, he's all about racing. He talks about racing. That's all he wants to talk about and stuff. So, I mean, you really connect with that connection with them. And it always clicked us. So kind of grew that relationship. Well, Gary Collins out in the West Coast in Bakersfield, California, they are Port City racers as well. And they have a bunch. They actually were supplying parts and stuff for a lot of teams out there. And Harley kind of got that connection with us in Nashville, Tennessee. The first year was back as the original All-American 400 for the Super Late Bottles. We met Gary. He came over. We talked, enjoyed each other. And it wasn't really trying to connect like driving for him or anything. It was just more building that relationship of connections of sharing notes and stuff like that. Harley respected him, like, hey, this is a guy that might be able to help you some. He has a bunch of history behind him, a lot of connections, stuff like that. They actually own, I don't know if you guys remember the old NTS truck team that Daniel Hemrick originally ran trucks and stuff for. Well, he was one of those owners before they split up and he went back to California and do his late model stuff. So we've just always kind of stayed connected there. Me, Gary, my dad, and I mean, we've always been really close to each other. We share notes honestly, I joke around with my dad all the time. I swear they're boyfriends. They call each other every day. They share notes, ideas. I mean, whatever it is, they're always talking. And I mean, he's always calling me. He always jokes around with me and says I'm his son away from his house. But he's always tried to find a way to get me out there, and they have really good connections on funding wise out there just from friends and stuff. So we ended up a couple years ago. I lost my lighting. Give me a second. But a couple years ago, we decided that we were going to kind of run together and see how it worked out, and ended up going well. And he's just kind of, whenever they get the funding and need a driver to come out there, I'm the first choice he gets. So I absolutely love running out there. They have great equipment and all that good stuff. So I always try to get out there and run with them as much as I can. So,
right.
So it's something I don't know when I'm going to be out there again this year. Just depending. Right now we're working on sponsorship and stuff for us. So we'll see what the race goes. But I always tell everyone we take it one race at a time, and we'll see where things go.
So what's your plans for this year? I know you've probably going to be running for Nashville this year, correct?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, right now the plan is to run full-time Nashville. Most of our sponsors, even though I'm from Indiana, most of my sponsors are from Nashville, Tennessee. So we try to run out there as much as we can, and they like us running the full schedule. So running that for sure. Got to try to go at that championship again. Dylan beat me. Being
By
successful
7.
championship, it eats me away. So I got to go back after it again. I don't like to lose. I hate being the first to lose.
You've already got 2, though.
Yeah, but I want more. You never can have enough. So
That's
We'll
right.
see what happens. We'll see what happens there. I know the sponsors like championships, and we do too.
Right.
My main thing, I always like to win races. That's the biggest thing for me, is try to win races. But if you're winning races, hopefully that brings a result of winning a championship. So we'll see what happens. I know Salem Speedway it's a home track for us. That's on the schedule as well for us. So we're gonna run that, and then we'll just see what things bring. Right now, it's just waiting on. We got enough funding right now, I think, to get by with Nashville, as long as things go smoothly. Other than that, it's just kind of see what happens. We're going to be tight. We're trying to find as much sponsorship as we can, and then go from there. But I'm thankful for the opportunity I'm in. We got good equipment. We got a good team. We got a lot of notes and resources that we've worked with this year. I feel like, honestly, we're more prepared this year than we've ever been, just from everything we've learned. So, not saying we're gonna come out of the right out of the gate and be dominant or anything, but I just feel real confident on where our platform is right now, and we'll see where it goes.
Speak a little bit of the competition you see at Nashville, man. You've run some touring races. Do you think Nashville stacks up with some of the best talent that any touring series has?
Oh, I tell everyone all the time, Nashville is by far the hardest competition you're gonna run against. You go anywhere else, you look at it all the time. Your top 3 or at least top 5 is always Nashville is your Nashville guys. They go anywhere, they compete. So I always tell people, you can go win at Nashville, you can go win anywhere. That's the whole reason kind of why we originally went to Nashville in 2014. I was racing at Lebanon I-44 Speedway. That's kind of where I got my feet wet, learning just things I like models. And we went to Nashville, went and watched the year that Tucker Wingo won the championship, and we came to All American Weekend. Chase Elliott won. Remember it like it was yesterday, and there was a tough battle against Sterling Marlin and Tucker Wingo for the points championship, and it came down to the last race. And we came down to check it out, and that night we told ourselves we was going to go, and that's where we was going to start competing. And I tell people every day that was what turned my career around, racing Nashville. There's so much opportunity there. I don't know if everybody sees that, the out-of-towners and stuff, but there's a lot of people that really backs racing. There's just a lot of support there, and you can really see the passion there. And just being successful there, I think it's really stepped up my career. It's given me opportunities that I probably would never had if I didn't go down there. So,
yeah, I was telling Hunter, that the competition at Nashville is by far probably the best weekly competition you'll see. Of course, I got to see him run at Speed Week down in New Smyrna. Have y'all ever thought about doing that for this week deal?
I always joke around about it that we're eventually going to do that, but with our work and full-time schedule, full-time jobs and stuff like that, it's hard to be able to do that and still be able to do the other races that we want to do, because you're almost committing a full week to do it. And man, it seems like they tear up so many race cars down there.
Oh yeah,
they have a lot of race cars. So I don't know. It's always definitely a bucket list thing to do. If we ever find the opportunity to do it, I'd love to do it. Yeah, but right now it's not an option. But we're committed to Nashville. That's my home. That's my place. So that everything else comes second until we find more opportunities.
Well, I can tell you now, if you ever get, and I've learned from watching, you ever get sideways or you ever blow a tire at Nashville, and you smack that wall, it's you probably gonna put a clip on it, I'd say. And Nashville's probably a rough track on equipment if something happens. But
for sure, I found that wall a few times.
Yeah,
I can tell you firsthand.
Yeah, I went down New Smyrna and I was in awe. Like I was telling, I have a lot of respect for them guys that do that week endurance. Because they're at the track from 11:30, probably all the way up to 11 o'clock at night. It's 12-hour days, 5, 6, 7 days. I think they even the one day they do not run, they're still working on their cars for that one day. And a lot of money spent down there. I mean,
that's the thing.
I talked to a guy.
A lot of money spent.
Oh yeah, I talked to a guy with Hoosier, and he said they go through about 2 tractor trailer loads of tires, and guys go out there and run 5 or 6 laps. They're putting a new set on. So there's not a tire limit unless the 100 lapper has a tire limit. But practice, I mean, they put a brand new set on for every practice. They have 2 practices. Qualifying's a brand new set, so that's 3 sets right there. And then they go race a set, go race, and it's a brand new set. Go on the race. So that's 4 sets in one day. So it's a pretty good deal. So you gonna run Salem the 25th of April?
Yep, I'll be there. It's 15 minutes from my house, so it's almost a must-do kind of deal. You got to go do it. And we ran it 3 years ago and won, and that was the last time they raced it. So we got to try to go back and defend. But we got a few sponsorships supporting that deal, and that's where all my family and stuff can come. They don't get to go to my races very often, other than my like grandparents and stuff. So that's the one opportunity they all get to come and watch me race in person. So hopefully we can put on a good show.
What do you think about Salem? I mean, explain a little bit of Salem. I mean, it's kind of a resemblance of the Darlington. You're running against the wall most of the,
It is a beast of its own. That is probably the best description I could tell you of the place. It's very rough. I always say the fastest way around is missing the potholes. It's one of the roughest tracks I've ever been on. It is. Now they did pave 3 and 4, so it's a lot smoother now. But what's even worse about that now is there's a transition from the old pavement to the new pavement going into 3 and 4 and then coming off. And that's probably the biggest thing you got to really work on the handle on the car is on that transition because it's so rough it almost upsets the car on entry and exit. 1 and 2, it's a rough, really old pavement. Don't have any grip. Honestly, I love it. But honestly, the characteristic of driving it, you drive it pretty similar to Nashville. The progressive banking and stuff, you can run it almost similar through 1 and 2. But it's definitely a beast of its own. There's not a place.
It's hard to pass there. I can tell you that. That's one track. I've seen it. I've not seen a late model around there, and I'm hoping to make it up there for that race. But to me, you got to kind of set a guy up and try to pass him going in 1 and 2 because I think it's real hard to pass him in 3 and 4. And I might have that opposite, but I know one of the corners is probably the best corners to pass at. But that track reminds me kind of a Bristol and a Darlington because if you wreck, you don't have really much time to react because it causes pileups pretty quick, even with the bankum going down. So, but I'm glad you get to run that race. And you're going after your 3rd championship at Nashville. If you get the 3rd championship, how many championships will you end up having? Can you count how many championships you've got?
Overall, like in stock cars or
everything.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know anymore, to be honest. That's something I have to go back and look because I know Mini Cup Baby Grand days. I know 1 year in the Mini Cup I won 6 championships. Because I was running so many different series. Yeah, because I was running some local divisions, some touring division stuff. So I don't even know. I know. It's 15 plus. We'll go with that.
15 plus. So you got a trophy room. Let's say, do you got a trophy room?
Well, our trophy room's the shop. We got a nice little display case above the garage right there. Actually, above our setup area. Most of our championship trophies and stuff are there now. Now the special ones, the ones that really mean a lot to me, they're either in my room or in our office up in the house. But we keep.
So what's your best? What's your best trophy that you pride the most in winning?
I think as a team, probably Bristol. The first time we won Bristol, just because it was such a big deal. I mean, there was 50 plus cars there for the pros and stuff there, and it was a heck of a race. Dylan Oliver actually was the most dominant Nashville guy. Most dominant that day, which he had some bad luck that weekend. But we ended up pulling it off, and it was just a big deal, just all the anticipation behind it. For the team, really, just because all my guys, they're all older, and they all grow up seeing Bristol and what it's made of. It's almost like the Daytona 500 when you go and run Bristol. So winning that was a big deal for our team overall. But, man, the Masters probably personally was my favorite win, most personal. Just because I-44, that's where I learned everything. I have so many friends. We have really close friends there. We honestly consider family. We stay with them when we go there and stuff. So just that behind it, and then just I've been so close to winning that race so many times, especially when Chase Owen and all of them's been there. So it was cool to win that, and hopefully I'd love to win the Masters at Nashville. Try to go get a second one, especially being the Masters and being Nashville to combine two special things right there together.
That's going to be a big endurance race for them cars. 150 laps around that place is going to be wild. And the car count, I'd say you'll have probably 35 cars, I'd say at least, probably try to make that race. I don't know how many they'll start, but that Masters race, I think a lot of Pearl Lake Miles has got that circled.
Yeah, for sure. We had 44 entered last year. So
44?
Yeah, there was 44 there last year. They had a last chance race, and then SRX is there this year with us. So I think that's going to bring a little bit more attention and stuff. So it'd be a big deal. It'd be a good weekend for everybody.
Yep. Well, man, I appreciate you having you on. Good luck the rest of the year. You got anything you want to thank before you get off?
I just got to thank everyone that helps make this happen. There's been a lot of people that's helped me throughout the years, crew members, sponsors, stuff like that. Bordeaux Metals is probably our biggest one that's on the car this year that's really helped us with everything. Dean's Oil, Rush Trucking is kind of some of our Tennessee supporters that's really helping making this go right now. So I can't thank them enough for the opportunity to be able to do this. My parents and then just everyone we do this with, they do it for fun. We don't have any full-time guys or anything like that. So we all wake up, work 8 hours a day, and then go in the shop for 4 hours after that. So we work our hearts out, and we just have a passion for this. I just can't thank everyone enough, and then the good Lord above. Without him, none of this be possible.
That's right. Man, I appreciate you coming on. Maybe we can have you on later in the year.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we're talking about a good season. We'll see about that, though.
That's right. Thank you, man.
Good luck, man.
Yeah, good
see
luck.
you guys. Enjoy it.
All right, that was Cole Williams, man. He's a class act. A lot of championships under his belt. He is fortunate to run a lot of different cars. And I remember the Baby Grand days when he showed up. It was between him and Ronnie Binkley, and that's one guy I think I'd like to have on too, because he is basically, to me, I think the face of Baby Grand racing. They run them cars a lot overseas, and they run them spot here and there a little bit. But him and Hunter is going to be neck and neck with, I think, the championship this year. But I think Speed 51s are going to broadcast them races, so we'll have to maybe get y'all dirt guys, watch that event a little bit. But we'll jump back into here, Bristol Dirt preview. Does a Cup guy or does a regular Truck Series guy win it? Michael?
I'm going to say a Truck Series regular.
Truck Series regular.
I think Matt Crafton will win it.
Think Matt Crafton will win it?
Yeah, he's been so close at Eldora. I think he'll get this one.
Matt, which one are you thinking?
Tough to say. I mean, the problem is that the Cup guys that are entered, we've got winners of Eldora that are in there, right? And it just and they're not and most of the guys aren't running trucks that I would consider to be non-competing trucks. I mean, we're talking about good equipment and everything like that.
Only one I think is not in a non-competing truck that is unproven, I think would probably be Ryan Newman. That's a startup team. Ain't never raced a truck race. That's Brad Means. The one thing I do like, and I'll say one thing I do like, and Michael can relay on, I hate, and I don't use hate very often, but the one thing I do like is it's random draw for the heat races. Random draw. They're not running they're going to practice, but they're not going off no speeds. It's random draw. So you might have, a nobody on the pole, and you might have Kevin Harvick start dead last. Here's the thing that I do not like. They're going off of stage, or they're going off of passing points. All right, I'm okay with passing points. I'm okay with passing points if you have a last chance qualifier, right?
Yep.
But you're not having a last chance qualifier. You're having 4 heats, and that's it. You're done. So a guy's I think we're going to have a good guy that's a Cup guy missed that show because he's going to get collected in an accident and he can't go fix his truck and run a last chance race.
Does the truck? Are they running that all in one day?
Yes.
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 I think I agree with Michael. I think it's going to be a regular truck guy that's probably going to end up winning it. But it's going to depend. It really going to depend on what happens and where they're starting, right? I mean, if you've got, I think Larson's running, isn't he? Can't remember if he is or not.
Yeah, we got Larson running.
Yeah,
Larson, Bubba Wallace. He's won a race.
Yeah.
He's won a Eldora race. Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick. There's 7. I thought I'm missing some.
Now, there is some dirt ringers coming in there, right? Like
not for
Mike Marlar.
Mike Marlar's going to run the Timmy Hill racing truck.
Yeah.
He's also going to run the Timmy Hill Cup car.
Yeah, I know that.
If I'm going to point a finger at a potential guy that could potentially win this thing as a regular, I mean, Stuart Friesen is probably one of the first guys I'm going to start pointing a finger at. Right?
For him, yeah.
He's going to be, because, I mean, I think he won the last Eldora. I think the last time they run on Dort, I think he won that race.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
And, he's one that I'm going to be looking at. I mean, as long as him and his wife don't decide to get together during the race and take each other out, well,
I heard she's pretty good.
That's what I mean. She's going to be running up there too, because she's running
amazing
the same
on
team.
dirt. She is amazing on dirt.
And her truck's going to be
top 5.
Her truck's going to be just as good as his because it's out of the same stable.
Now,
I think the practice is going to help. I think the practice is going to help her. Right.
Haley Deegan's a regular in the truck series now, ain't she?
Yes.
Yep.
She drives the one.
I wouldn't count her out.
Nope. She's got a good truck. That's why I'm saying I think it's going to be a truck regular, because there's too many.
Did she win Las Vegas dirt track?
Yep.
She won that race, didn't she?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I figured out.
There's too many.
Silky smooth.
There's too many good truck racers, regular truck racers, that are good dirt racers.
So you have 44 trucks are going to try to make, I think, a 36 truck field.
Yeah.
It's 9 trucks going on.
I think it'll be a better show than the Cup Series. I hope.
Michael, I'm going to tell you something. I want you to turn the TV on Friday afternoon and watch the practice.
I won't be home for the practice.
Why?
I won't be home.
Well, at least go back and watch. Go back and watch the practice, and then we'll judge it there, right? Let's see a little bit on.
No, I don't judge anything off practice. I learned a long time ago you don't judge anything off practice.
Okay.
Because if you go back to Eldora and you watch them practices, the top wasn't near the top at the end.
No.
The problem is, and it's the same thing. I totally agree with Michael on this, because when it comes to a dirt track, especially, the way it's prepped on Friday is not even going to be close to the way the track is going to be on Saturday, which is not even going to be close to the way the track is on Sunday, because it's going to be 3 completely, totally different tracks.
But I'm talking about Friday will be a good learning experience for them guys getting practice.
It'll be a good learning experience, but when it comes to the race, it's not going to tell you much.
No, I don't think the race is going to be run on Sunday anyway. They're calling for way too much rain, heavy rain, really. I hope I'm wrong, but I'd like to see a race on Sunday. If not, here's what I think will happen. If they do not get the race in on Sunday, it will be a Monday night show. I think it will be.
That would be pretty cool.
It'll be a Monday night show under the light.
That sucks for me because I won't be watching Monday night.
Why is that?
Because Arkansas will be playing in the
Elite
8 that time.
They have to make the Elite 8.
They're going to beat Oral Roberts. Okay.
All right.
Hey, you got another race to run on Monday.
Not if Arkansas's playing.
All right, let's get back. Bristol Dirt preview. I'm gonna go with you, Matt. Who you think gonna take the checkered on that?
Larson.
He's going with Larson. Larson's off the table. Who you think gonna win? This is going to be all right. Let's not do the fantasy this week because I've got to save some picks. Okay.
Oh,
let's pick a guy. Let's pick.
Look
one
at that.
Guy.
He just side skirted it again because he knows he's going to be dead last this week too.
No. Let's pick one guy.
All right. Yeah.
One guy.
We can do that.
And whoever finishes closest to the top wins. I'll give Matt. I should go first because I was dead last, but I'll give it to Matt. Matt, who you think? Are you sticking with Larson?
No, I'm sticking with Larson. 100%. I'm sticking with Larson.
I'll be last. Go ahead, Michael. Who you got?
Take Austin Dillon.
Come again?
Austin Dillon.
You've got Austin Dillon finishing ahead of all them guys.
Well, he took Larson, so that took my. I mean, what the hell?
Who
did I take your pick or what?
No, you didn't take my pick.
It was either going to be
contradicting between Christopher Bell or I'd even throw out a Blaney or something. You know.
Well, my other pick would have been Corey LaJoy.
No, Corey LaJoy ain't gonna make it.
He looked mighty good in a late model the other night.
Late models and this is.
I know there's two different things.
Man, I don't know.
We took the two good ones off the table, so now I can see the wheels just a turning.
How can I manipulate it now? So he's like,
exactly.
I mean, I like Tyler Reddick. I really do. He's got a lot.
That's a good pick.
He's got a lot of dirt experience too.
Is he running the trucks?
No. I'll take Tyler Reddick.
Another good pick would have been Briscoe.
Matt, you better write this down.
Yeah.
So Larson
for you.
Larson for me. Austin Dillon for Michael.
Austin or Ty Dillon? Which one?
Austin.
All right.
And Willie went with
Tyler Reddick.
Go with again? Tyler Reddick. So in other words, all three of us agree it's going to be because I think Michael's going Toyota. You and me are going Chevy.
I'm going Chevy.
Chevy? Austin Dillon Chevy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chevy. We're all running Chevys, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we're gonna say Chevy's gonna win anyway.
I think so.
You got to pull this comment up from Aiden because I think must be having something funny in his drink this afternoon.
Okay. If I had to pick, I would go with the underdog Byron. Let's go back because Byron has run one or two dirt races, so that one is not going to be an underdog if he wins.
The biggest thing he ran the truck at Del Mar.
That's right.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that William Byron has going for him is Rudy Fugle as his crew chief because Rudy Fugle has dealt with the trucks on Eldora for a long time.
Let me tell you something. If I had to pick one crew chief in that garage that is on fire right now, has to be Rudy Fugle. Let me tell you why. That cat is a genius when it comes to a race car. And him finally going to I'm sure he had plenty of opportunities to go to, let's say, a front row motorsports. I'm sure he had plenty of opportunities to go there. He deals with so many drivers. For him to run and team up with William Byron, and they had so much success, and to win in his third start? Was it third start?
Third start, yep.
Third start. Frame's genius. Now, they can't go and run 20th for the next 20 races, and, because that one would be a shocker to me. But I do think he gets another win for the end of the year. But I think
if they weren't running Bristol Dirt this weekend, I'd put really good money on that they're going to finish 8th.
Finish what?
8th.
8th?
8th. The last 3 races, they finished 8th.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right,
Vegas, Phoenix, and Atlanta, they finished 8th.
Is that a bet?
What?
Is that you want to put a bet on that?
No.
Oh,
I'm a Canadian. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go back.
I guess I'm the only gambler in here.
No, I'm a gambler, but I'm a recovering gambler.
I'll put money on this because what's the next race after?
We got Richmond and Martinsville after this.
I'll put money on the fact that Byron's going to beat Logano at friggin' Richmond.
Woo! Here we go.
Bet taken.
What we betting? Hold up. What we betting there?
Yeah, what we got? I'll let you
I don't know. I'll put a tenner on it.
A what?
A tenner?
Tenner.
Is that 10 Canadian or 10 American?
No, it's 10. It's 10. Well, if he goes 10 Canadian, that's a heck of a lot cheaper for me because otherwise it's about $20.
Right. All right. We'll talk about this one. Does Atlanta need to be repaved? Michael, I'll let you start because do you think it needs to be repaved?
No, I don't. I think it needs to try to hang on another 5
for
years.
The new car.
Yeah, let's see what happens with that, and then we can base judgment off of what the new car does, since we'll probably have it for 2 or 3 years.
Matt?
Please, God, Bruton Smith, pave the damn thing. Do something with it. I mean, guys, I fell asleep. I never fall asleep in a friggin' race, and I fell friggin' asleep during that race. It is not fun watching one car lead 258 laps. And not only that, but I was telling you boys, there were 11 total lead changes in that race. Basically, you could have gone, fell asleep for the whole race, and if you woke up with 10 to go, you saw something interesting because Blaney went past Larson.
Yeah.
But other than that, and guys, I don't know if it's the track as much as it is the package with the car.
I think it needs to be reconfigured.
They are in talks. Once they pave it, they're going to make it. They are in talks to make it back a traditional oval, no dog leg. No tri-oval. My bad. No tri.
mean,
that would be good. I think.
I feel like the only track that should have that would be Charlotte.
Well,
I think
I agree. That's where the cookie cutter comes involved, right? So that's where the cookie cutter, comment comes involved. Is the tri-ovals. You have, let's name them. Texas has tri-oval, right?
Yep.
Kansas has a tri-oval.
Yep.
Vegas has a tri-oval.
Well, Kansas and Vegas aren't they're like, it's not like your traditional tri-oval where it's got the two, basically you're straight away and then you're two straights.
Kind of like a D-oval.
It's the D-oval is what they call it. But you can throw it in the cookie cutter bin.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I agree with Michael. I think we should wait. Because we did get a package change this year. They went to a high downforce 550 package.
That's the same package. That's the same package that they've had on those cars since 2019.
I thought that they changed the package on it.
Nope, that's the same package they've run for the last 3 years. And the problem is that I go back to thinking about how those races were all the way back to about 18 or 17, even when they were running the super low downforce package. The racing was good in the pack with the lower downforce package versus the high downforce package.
Right.
But the problem is that the extreme low downforce package, the guys were saying, oh, we're slipping and sliding around and, these cars are fun to drive and everything like that. Well, the problem is Atlanta has just lost so much grip that the guys were terrified to get beside somebody because, when they're going through the corner, they're sliding up 1 or 2 lanes in the middle of the corner because it's so worn out, right?
Right.
And then when Harvick figured out what do they call it? The Harvicking line, or what is that? The TV calls it the Harvicking line, or you're Harvicking in Atlanta, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's just, the problem is that I think even with any racetrack, it just gets to a point where the pavement is just too worn out. Like, it's just got to the point where there's just not enough grip left in that pavement. And it does pain me to say it, but the thing is that especially with the package the cars are running now, it's just not working.
Well, I think
not with that racetrack.
I think a good point was brought up on the Dale Jr. download is they need to eliminate some sets of tires.
10 sets is what 10 sets is what they had.
Yeah, well, they should have.
They don't need that many.
No.
Well, they don't conserve tires. Why do you conserve tires when only time you need to conserve tires is your last stage?
They're still not getting very much wear out of them anyway.
Atlanta eats them up. Atlanta eats them up.
Well, it does. You're right. It does. But again, the problem I have with it is with the current package that they're running on the cars. Like if the cars had a similar package to what the Xfinity cars are running,
be a heck of a lot better racing.
We would be having a different conversation. Because if you're talking about, and I have to rephrase that. Like if we're talking about the Xfinity Series in Atlanta, I'm saying don't touch it.
Right.
Right? But the Cup car with the package that they're running, it's like, listen, you have to do something. I mean, one thing that I've learned about NASCAR racing in particular, especially with the drivers that we currently have in the series, if they ain't bitching, it's not good racing. Because if they're saying it's the way we love it the way it is, it's perfect, don't touch it and everything like that, I find it puts on some of the worst races on the series. If they're complaining and whining, then it puts on good racing.
Yeah, I agree. But I want to see July. I want to see July's race before they can say they're going to say it.
The problem I have with it, guys, is that okay, so then they go and they say, you know what, we're not going to pave it. We're going to put the new cars on the pavement. And what happens if it puts on the best racing we've ever seen? Right? We'll all be like, woohoo, they can't pave it. But the problem is that it's still out there. Like, we're not going to get much more life out of that pavement. I mean, it is going to at some point where they're just going to have to do it. And my argument is it's like, listen, I'd rather not see what it could potentially be, and it's like if they're going to pave it, do it before the new car, because I don't want to see what it could have been.
Right. I agree with you. You kind of persuade me a little bit.
But I had a good argument on this one.
He hasn't me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you. We're going to shift to the truck series because I forgot to mention this. Kyle Busch lets John Hunter win both stages, picking up 1 stage point per stage. Should NASCAR penalize him for the manipulation of the outcomes of the stages? Now, remember, I want to go first on this one. All right? Listen. 1 stage point means a lot. 1 playoff point means a lot. That's 1 position, okay, when you're running a like 6-race playoff, whatever the Cup Series is, right? So to me personally, I think it should. I don't think they should actually penalize the people, but they should send a warning. All right, I get you're getting teens, but that goes a little too far. That's my opinion, because if John Hunter needs them 2 points, he's got the 2 points in the bank, right? All right.
Yep.
I think that we kind of need to look at Kevin Harvick. Now, if he had that 1 more stage point, he would still be in that Final Four. He needed that 1 more stage point to get in the Final Four at Phoenix. So I think that we need to look at manipulation a little bit, because Kyle Busch probably could have won both stages and won that race easily. That's my opinion.
No comment. That's where I'm going with it.
No comment.
I think it'd be hard to prove what happened.
Okay, but hey, they have throttle and brake data. You can tell when they get on the gas and get on the brake.
I know they got all that, but
okay,
I don't know.
You still can prove.
I'm going to go with Matt on this. No comment.
All right.
I don't know how to make a good quality case.
No,
either way.
You can't. That's why I said it's a slippery slope, and it's just not something that you can't. No comment. That's just the way. That's the best way to say it.
All right. Well, we've got a gentleman waiting in the green room. Going to talk a little bit about his experience for the Bristol Dirt. What's going on, Tyler?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Pretty good, man.
I guess I need to apologize for being a little bit late there, ain't done I?
No, we know you're a busy man. I mean, we appreciate you taking your time coming on.
I was actually in the living room there watching the Pro Invitational with the NASCAR Cup drivers.
Yeah, we got to miss that one. But how did that go? How's that going right now?
I think it's
honest opinion.
You take a professional, big name like NASCAR, and you try to bring it to a very successful business such as iRacing, who's trying to be as real as possible as a simulation. And then NASCAR comes on tonight and makes a joke out of it and has a good time, I guess. Maybe if we was having a barbecue, this might be the right way to act. In my opinion, I think they didn't do iRacing due diligence. I think they could have done a lot better. What we do as sim racers who do not have the opportunity and the experience to get out there like the NASCAR drivers, this is our home. This is something that we take very seriously, and I think they shit on it pretty good. My opinion. That's just me.
I appreciate your honest opinion. I mean, 100%. I ain't got to watch it, but I do have it recording. But tell us a little bit about your experience at Bristol, man. What was it like running on the dirt at Bristol?
For the short period of time that I got to, it was pretty fun. But when that motor blew up, it wasn't fun as much as I'd like for it to have been. But after we got that new motor in there, we had a blast. Figured out a lot of things that we needed to know before we come back and do some local dirt track racing. And now that we believe we have the bugs worked out, we believe we'll be more competitive on night number one at some of our local racetracks.
Yeah. That track Bristol was real hard on motors, wasn't it? I mean, it's I don't know what the count was. I was thinking 30 to 50 probably blew up down there, but
there was plenty. Every race had a motor blowing up, of 2 or 3 race cars being destroyed. It was a big deal to go down there because it broke a lot of people. A lot of people come home without rides, without motors. Before they even got started in their season back home, they lost that at Bristol. They left it at Bristol.
Yeah, and I wish they would have. Wish this event would happen at the end of the year, right? You'd had a winner to fix your car, but just like you said, I mean, a lot of guys' dreams to run their local dirt track stuff was done, right? That was it. I mean, we saw some cars that I don't even know what you could take off of because they junked it. But I mean, we watched it. I mean, us 3 watched it, and was that an all throttle track? Was you off the throttle much there, or was it?
There was most of it for me was full throttle. There was points and times when you would let it roll in a little bit to have that more control on the exit, just in my opinion. But who am I? I spend more time here than what I have in a real car, and the experience to do that in a real car was just over the top for me. So much to take in and so much to learn. I don't know that I did what I should have done, but I did what felt right, and we come home with a car all in one piece.
So where are you gonna run at this year? Up back home?
We have a little racetrack called Lizard Creek Speedway that was bought recently. They have not released a schedule or the new name. It's just a mile down the road here. We also hope to visit Beckley Motor Speedway, Princeton Motor Speedway, all 3 of those in West Virginia. We might make our way down to Friendship, maybe Withful. Definitely want to hit up 411 Speedway. We're in Pigeon Forge quite a bit. And I don't know, just wherever our followers take us.
I mean, you run a 604 crate, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. That class I think that class is coming back. I mean, a couple years ago, you couldn't really get very many 604s to show up locally, but 411, they usually draw a pretty good crowd. They at least that one show got postponed. The Mid America, maybe you can make that later in the year. The midweek flow racing.
The big race around here, and like I said, I never did follow the I never did follow the class before I got a car was the Triple Crown with Fast Track. Yep. And that's been a big show here for years. And now with All American Crate Series, Joseph Rush is making a name for himself with that series, and we'll probably be looking to what they're going to put up this year.
Well, that new track up and they brought it back, the West Virginia Speedway, or I think it's what it's called, the Big Half Mile. Are you going to try to run it?
Yeah, West Virginia Motor Speedway. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have tackled it before, but now that we went to Bristol, I just feel like nothing is beyond what we could do. So I feel like we'll go out there and check that out. We want to go as many places as we can to make ourselves accessible to as many followers to come out and actually see us live race.
Right. Yeah, I mean you've grown a pretty good following over. I tune in as much as I can, and so what's it like to have a motion sim rig? Does it help? Did it help you any with the test laps at Bristol?
That was something that we talked about in Victory Lane when we was down at Bristol. Everybody was looking forward to this event that's going to start on the March 15th and run through to the 20th. And I was like, hey, I was running laps last week. Where you guys been? And I think a lot of people's like, well, what's he mean? What iRacing? What's that? And hopefully we got a lot of new followers to come over and check that out. Hopefully we brought a respectful publicity to iRacing that goes back to reflect on the way NASCAR is reflected on iRacing today. I think they'll bring more professionalism to it whenever they go to the asphalt tracks. I just don't believe Bristol Dirt in the first race out of the gate with the Pro Invitationals.
Yeah, that's I was kind of fearing that would happen, that they would do that. They kind of made a little joke of iRacing a little bit when the pandemic started. Of course, with Bubba Rage quitting, you had 4 or 5, Clint Boyer kind of making a joke of it and stuff, and now you run on Bristol. Now, does the track on iRacing and Bristol, does it line up? Is it more like realistic like some others?
Yeah, I would say it does. I think the track matches Bristol on iRacing as much as it does in real life. It's missing the dirtles. You'll have a lot of apron racing on iRacing that did start to happen at Bristol before they decided to add the dirtles. And I feel like the cars could be a little bit more realistic. From what I'm feeling in my car on the real track was very different from what I found driving on iRacing on the track. It seemed like the car wanted to step out a little bit more. And, they talk about these drivers having the seat of the pants feeling when they're in the car and losing that when they get on iRacing. And, I still have that with all the simulation here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm on my simulator now. Full motion rig. If this thing kicks sideways, it's going to put me over here. The seatbelt is going to pull on me. The seat's going to lean back. I'm going to get those feelings, and which doesn't compare to the real thing. The G-forces just sucks you out into the car. That was a learning curve too on the real track. It throw you in there, and you kind of want to fight it and stay straight. But that took a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, a lot of breathing. When you just kind of just lay over there and drive your car, I don't know, that seemed to help a lot.
We Dustin Labernot, he's on Michael's team, on our team, but he said that he was hearing from a lot, because he's a big block guy with the tires and stuff. He said that the G-forces with the big blocks was coming straight through the car. What was the G-forces like in the 604?
If there's a way that I could compare it to something, I would. I just don't know. You drive wide open, and you're like, "Oh God, I hope it sticks."
Right.
And you throw it in there about half throttle, and then you're like, "Thought I had something on my hands. Just worth talking this room. Don't know what to do with my hands." Anyways, you go in there half throttle, you go in there 3/4 throttle. The next lap, you're going in there full throttle, and you're like, okay, I need more. At what point is it like, okay, let's let's pull back. Let's do something to the car, because the whole time, he's like, more speed, because it didn't matter how hard you hit that corner, it would hold, especially on the bottom. It'd go in the bottom. You'd throw it just a little bit in. It would set in. It'd throw you over there, glue you in. It'd be like this right here all the way through a rough ride. But if you get up in the wetter part of the track where there's more moisture, then it was like, okay, throttle control. Let's bring her way out of here. And I don't know. Bristol is a beast of its own. Yeah. It'll take anything you throw at it.
Tyler, do you feel like they did too much track prep?
I think the whole the whole event was over the top, way more than what anybody expected it to be. I think there could have been more vendors for food. I feel like they could have been more vendors for parts. I think there was a lot of money to be spent that week. I was looking for a motor. I found one 4 hours away, brought to me. I know I wasn't the only one looking for motors. There was plenty of times we would go look for parts and they wasn't there. Then they would get them. There'd be somebody, well, we're going to have a truck run out to the shop and get it and come back. It was just way more than anybody had expected. It was hard to prepare for that event. I think with what they did do with XR, I think it really needs to be acknowledged just how well they did do and how well they operated. They worked together. They communicated the way that they pulled it all together when it was so overwhelming. I don't know that anybody could just go in there and do that event, but they definitely had their hands full.
Yeah, sure. It was a good event. I mean, I enjoyed watching it a little bit. Now the big question is, you've got a year under your belt. If they have it next year, are you going?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It'd be an event that you think you'd tackle almost every year.
I'm to the point. I started racing when I was 18, 12 years ago in street stock. I've won numerous races in that series. I've moved up to the crate class. To the point where my brain wants to do more than my body will let me. And yeah, I'm a big boy. I don't want to work on those cars no more. If I go back to Bristol Dirt Nationals, I want to go as a personality. I want to go meet and greet more. I want to get more involved in the entertainment side of things. I want to be in the commentary booth. I want to be sitting on the apron when the cars go by, getting the best camera shot. I want to be bringing the best content I can to my viewers and my followers here on Ty B TV. That would be more up my alley. But I feel like my fans and followers is probably wanting me to be out there on the racetrack. And considering, we're here to please, that's probably where we'll be at next year if they do it again.
Yeah. Is there talks about doing it again next year? Have you heard anything?
I don't know. I mean, I seen a post on XR asking, where do we go next? And I see Phoenix, I see Atlanta, I see comments about Martinsville. That would be my personal preference.
Yeah, me as well.
Michael said that right off the bat. He thinks putting dirt on Martinsville would be amazing.
I would love it. I think if we get rid of that banking, it's going to bring a lot more racing action for the cars and for the fans, because that the bottom line was where it was at until it blackened up, and then it come down. I mean, everybody's wide open. You put the throttle to the bottom, you put the car in the best place, and you go. I feel like we would have a more racier situation if we had a flat track to put it on.
I agree. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on. Tell us a little bit about Ty B TV before you go, man. We want to hear more about it.
So, Ty B TV, my name's Tyler Blankenship. Ty is my nickname. B goes for the last name. Little woman, Kristen, got me this sign right here. If I can point to it.
It's pretty awesome.
So this would be our pit crew area, where we would have somebody who is on the headset in the garage fixing whatever's going on in this rig while we're racing, or maybe the other rig. We have 2 full motion simulation rigs from Sim Experience. The one on that side over there, Larry Cantoris, Eric Burgess, a few followers and fans has been on it. My kids start on it. My girlfriend's racing on it. Both the rigs, they interact with iRacing and American Truck Simulator. And then this one has a few more bells and whistles. We have the G belts here. These actually pull on your chest and give you G forces when you do braking or go into corners. We also have the GS5 G seat
It has 2 actuators in the back that's pushing on each side of my back. There's 2 under my thighs, so when we brake, we can feel that. We go in the corner, we can feel that. And the seat itself has 2 long actuators that'll lean the seat backwards or forwards other ways. I could probably calibrate it here and give you a little bit of movement. And then the whole chassis itself gives you a traction loss feeling side to side. That's just all sim experience equipment there, like the AccuForce wheel here. We're equipped with HPP pedals, one of my best pedals I've ever used. I've tried Logitech, Thrustmaster, Fanatec, and the HPP is definitely my choice. We have Sim Racing Studio wind simulation. The faster the car goes, the faster they blow. Just everything on this rig has a function. We have sounds. We try to keep it going pretty good. We have even when I have terrible jokes, I still have a place over here. I can just hit this right here. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Good. Okay, so whatever's going on Tybee TV, whether it's a bad situation, we've got something for it. We've even got the crowd to cheer me on when the fans are asleep or something. Yeah, but we have a good time. We even though we didn't put the car in victory lane while we was going to Bristol Dirt Nationals, Tybee TV was able. Well, we won the give back video contest.
That's right,
and that wouldn't have happened without everything that we've learned here on Tybee TV. There was footage there. There was parts of the simulator on there. It was, it was a really big deal to me. And I think it said a lot about what we can do here on Tybee TV. Saturday night is local race night. Monday through Friday, you better be right here watching me,
That's right. Hey, well, man, we got charity bits coming up that we'd like you to run. If when we get the date out, we'll shoot it to you and stuff. Going to be the Wounded Warriors Project, so we're going to be benefiting.
Is that Kelly Pointer? Is that what he usually goes for? KPTV. I think he does something for the Wounded Warriors.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I just want to do something with veterans. I think a lot of the nation is hurting the veterans right now. We're not putting a lot of focus on them, so we're trying to give back to them and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, that's something we'd like you to run. I mean, you've ran some Michael stuff in the past. I mean,
Yeah, and I never really got the chance to thank you, Tyler, but you did sponsor the Super Late Models one season with Mid-South Virtual Racing League, and I do appreciate
I think I remember that. I think I remember that. We used to run a lot more leagues whenever I was on Mud Duck Racing with Joey Lamb and AJ Cruz and Frankie Gonzalez and a lot of good guys. We're trying to put on our own thing with the supporters on Tybee TV. There has to be a substantial amount of supporters to make all this go, to make it,
right.
To leave the work outside to come in here and have the playtime, which is still, it has to make its own dollar. And we're trying to get as many supporters interacting as possible, whether you be a fan who likes to watch, or whether you be a racer who'd like to contend. So that we're trying to build that up. We did get an invite from Facebook to apply as partner. There's a few more achievements we need to reach. One being engagement. So, anybody who's watching Tybee TV, if you like, share, and follow, that helps us with that number. We'll be trying to reach a goal of $2,000 in stars. And if we don't reach that in April, then we're probably going to be looking for a nonprofit charity, maybe the Wounded Warriors. And because it doesn't say how you can raise those stars. But I feel like if it's going to a good cause, we'll be more apt to hit that goal quicker.
That's right. Well, man, appreciate you coming on, giving us a little inside of the Bristol Dirt, and hopefully you get you some wins under your belt and give all the viewers your content.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I apologize for being late.
Oh, you're fine, man. We're over here we're over here bullshitting a little bit.
Well, I tried to share it everywhere I could. I hope we got a few viewers in here for it. And if there's anything I can do to help move it along, let me know. And when you guys do decide to do that charity thing, I would love to get involved with that. I hope that one day all this will pay off, and we'll be a big deal here on iRacing and on Facebook, to where when we do touch events and charities and stuff, that we can really leave our mark on it.
That's right. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's the goal right there. I mean, appreciate you having us coming on, man, and we'll holler at you later.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see you, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Good night. Thank you.
That was Tyler Blankenship with Ty BTV. That's a pretty badass rig you got.
Yeah, I remember the first time we started showing that, I was jealous.
You can't get much closer to the real thing if you got wind blowing in your face for the faster you go. I mean, man, that's awesome.
Yep. That's pretty badass, and he's getting a good following over there and doing some great things. I mean, I enjoy watching him when he goes live. I usually click on there and watch him for a little bit. Enjoy watching him.
I watched all of his stuff from Bristol.
Yeah. And he was fast. I mean, that was something that, I think that's going to be a learning experience. I'm hoping, right, that we can get them to do Martinsville, but NASCAR owns Martinsville, right? So that's going to be a if, right? That's going to be the big if. But I still think that there's a lot to learn from this week at Bristol, or for the trucks and the Cup. If the Cups and the truck, if they do not succeed, which we think the trucks will, right? The trucks is pretty much certain to succeed. The Cup do not succeed. I do not see dirt race coming back, right? I don't think we need to have a dirt. I don't think we need to have a dirt race as a points paying event. That's my opinion. I think it needs to be like an all-star event. But one thing before we want to touch on, I forgot before we leave, because I mean we're pushing an hour and a half. So, is what about Stewart Haas? What is it time to hit the panic button on them, Stewart Haas? Matt?
No,
not
yet.
We're 6 races in. 3 of them's only got no top 10s.
We're getting there. And it was kind of interesting because I saw an article that Rodney Childers had been interviewed and stuff like that. And I think it was last show or the show before, we were talking about the new wheel well template that NASCAR has put in place in the Cup Series. And Childers actually talked about it in the interview. And I don't know enough about, the engineering and the downforce and everything like that. But supposedly whatever this template has done, it took 70 counts of downforce away from the Stewart Haas cars. So, if you're talking 70 counts of downforce, I'm suspecting the way he talked about it, that's a big deal.
Right.
And I don't know, I don't know how the air works to get the downforce in the car and everything like that. But if they were able to get 70 counts of downforce from modifying the wheel wells, does that mean that they were able to trim out the car in other places so that they could be going faster down the straights and stuff, especially when they're running the 550 package?
Well, you could still trim the cars out they used to trim the cars out. You could get good qualifying speed and it hurts your race, right? Or you'd get good race, but you would kill your qualifying speed. I would like for NASCAR to come out and say, okay, here's what they was doing to the wheel wells, right? But we know we won't see that.
No.
They just put NASCAR. They just put the NASCAR community on notice. This is what we're doing. Excuse me. This is what we're doing. This is what you've got to allowance here. Yeah. And
well, I the way he talked about it, 70 counts of downforce has to be a big deal.
I'm sure.
And but I have heard that the Stewart Haas cars last year in particular, on the 550 horsepower high downforce tracks, they were trimming the car out.
Yeah.
Right? Because they were looking for that raw speed there. So they were trimming the cars out. And with that 70 counts of downforce they were getting from the wheel wells, was that downforce, was that side force or something that they were able to take advantage of so that they could trim the car out? Now that they've lost that 70 counts of downforce in the wheel wells, are they now having to put downforce back into the car?
Right.
The other thing is that if you lose that much downforce, your setups, you might as well just take them, go like this with them, and out the window, because It ain't going to work anymore. I mean, Harvick finished 10th at Atlanta, but I have never heard Kevin Harvick come on the radio and basically say, this is the biggest pile of crap that I've ever had at Atlanta midway through the race.
Yeah. I agree.
You know, like we had talked about it before, and I'm fairly confident in saying that wheel well template of all the teams hurt Stewart-Haas the worst.
Yeah. Everybody know. The whole community of NASCAR knows that they hurt them the most. But you know, you've got, I think if I remember right, you got Chase Briscoe down here in 27th in points, Cole Custer 24th, and Eric Almirola like 21st, or it might be flip-flop between Chase Briscoe, but you got them in the 20s.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is, guys, is we have to remember that really in the last few years, Stewart-Haas has run, Kevin Harvick that's run really good, and the other one, all other three cars are kind of like, you know, they put up okay numbers. I mean, Almirola put up some okay numbers, but he's not putting up numbers that are going to light the world on fire.
Yeah.
You know, and this year it's kind of like those cars that weren't really lighting the world on fire. Well, now they're farther down the track. They're farther down the rankings, right? Yep. And Harvick, instead of being up front, now he's, instead of a 1st to 5th place car, now he's a 5th to 10th place car.
Right.
So they're off. Like, let's call it what it is. They're off. And I'm sure that these guys are thrilled that they get an off weekend coming up here for Easter, so that maybe they can throw some new stuff at the drawing board and maybe come back with some new stuff to help these cars out and get them back up to speed. I mean,
all right, I'm gonna throw you one more thing with the Stewart-Haas. How many of Stewart-Haas cars makes the playoffs? Out of the 4, how many makes playoffs?
One.
I'm thinking Kevin Harvick's it. What do you think, Michael? Do you think Chase Briscoe or Eric Almirola or Cole Custer makes the playoffs?
Where is Cole Custer right now?
21st.
21st in points.
21st. Yeah.
Almirola's down below that, right?
Eric Almirola, I think I got him wrong. I think he's 27th, and Cole Custer's 21st. Briscoe's like 24th, and then 27th for Eric Almirola.
Harvick, I think, would be the only one.
And you know what? The only way that one of those three guys at this point, unless
actually, I want to take it. I'm gonna say 2, because I think Eric will get a win.
I don't think he does
at the Super Speedway. I think he will.
I think Eric Almirola is it. I think this is it, right?
Well, you know what? We have to remember, though, that all 3 of them are down there in points and everything like that. And I mean, Aiden's got a point here I seen just down in the comments. A plate track can change that fast. He's absolutely right. Because Eric Almirola, we all said after the 500, had the best car on that track.
Yeah.
You know, he had the best car in the 500. And you know what? That could happen. I mean, but I think the problem is that when you're looking at Almirola, Custer, and Briscoe, they ain't going to make the playoffs unless they win.
All right.
And I don't think they're going to point it in.
If they continue the year they're having, do you think – we know Briscoe's there. Do you think it's time to probably move on from maybe Custer or Eric Almirola?
Custer, I think you got to give him another year. You know, he's only been in that Cup car for a year and a half now. I think you got to give him some more time. You know,
he does have a win, and he's made.
And he does have a win. He's made the playoff. You know, Almirola. But the problem is Almirola ran decent last year. You know, he didn't run bad.
I think Almirola's suitcase is half packed.
You know what? The problem that Almirola has, and I agree with you, Michael, is that there's development drivers in Ford that are still coming up.
Wait a second. Hold up. Wait a second. What development? We talked about this last week. What development drivers in Ford?
Haley Deegan.
Okay, but I understand. Yeah, but she's like at least 3 years out from Cup.
Well, but you've got her, right? And the whole thing is that when you're talking Xfinity, they don't have a lot of, you know, but I don't know. You guys could agree or disagree, but I don't think Ford wants to lose Di Benedetto out of the fold. And who would you rather put in your car right now? Would you rather put Matty D in your car, or would you rather put Eric Almirola in your car?
Well, all right. You gotta go back and look at that. Eric Almirola has Smithfield backing him. Are we going to talk? We're talking about money, or we're talking about? I mean, I think when you get up to them top tier teams, you're talking about results.
I'm talking about driver. If you're talking physical driver, you're not putting
you got to have Matty
sponsorship.
D in there. Matty D's got
right.
to stay.
I'm saying you're going to be putting Matty D in the car before you're putting Eric Almirola in the car.
Right. Matty D's got to stay.
For Ford to lose Di Benedetto, I think is going to be a loss, a huge loss for them. But I'm telling you, the problem is that Haley Deegan, it's kind of like the problem that she has right now in the truck series is that having no practice, no qualifying is definitely hurting her because she just doesn't have seat time in the truck.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree with that. I agree.
And let's be honest here. Next year, I don't care for all the guys running in the Cup Series. She's a whole new ball game, boys. That car is so radically different from what they're racing now. I mean, why wouldn't you want to? You could put her in a Cup car next year because guess what? For the most part, they're all on the same playing field.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, but I've got to do something over in the Ford camp because we've only got one Ford winner this year.
And it sounds like
Brad
Keselowski is coming back to Penske.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think there's. Well, I mean,
that's not really a stalker because who's going to replace him, right?
Well, it takes a special kind of driver to drive for Penske. Let's put it that way.
Y'all didn't hear it, did you?
What?
You can't replace greatness.
But what is?
I said it takes a special kind of driver to drive a Penske.
Yeah, I mean that's 100%. I mean you gotta admit Ryan Blaney is probably the hottest driver at Penske, even without the win. He's still the hottest driver.
However, I don't. Yeah, I do see Ryan possibly sticking around for 2 more years.
Who?
Ryan. But after that, I don't see Ryan Blaney being around.
Why? Why would you think he's going to go where's he going?
Well, I don't know where he's going, but I don't think he'll stick around there.
Why do you not think he fits in?
I don't think he fits in at all.
He doesn't fit the Penske mold, is what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because you got to be an arrogant prick to drive one of their cars.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't see how you move Ryan Blaney. I mean, if I was Roger Penske, I'd be signing
unless Roger throws the bank at him, then yeah, he'll probably stay.
But what I'm saying is, do you think it's a money issue or is it?
I don't think it'd be it's hard to really say. I don't think there's any chemistry there. I don't think that he gets along with his current teammates, with Brad and Joey. However, Ryan and Brad are really good friends.
They're tight. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very tight.
Ryan is the one. Brad's one that got Ryan got. Yeah.
So I may be just talking out of my ass here.
Well,
they won last. They won last week.
That's 75%.
I mean, he won. He won Atlanta. I mean, and he was fast. I mean, he was fast there. He was fast at Phoenix.
Hang on, he was
fast at Vegas.
To ask about that. We've got to admit, Ryan Blaney stole that win. He stole it, right?
I know where he's going with this.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney stole that win.
Okay. I know where he's going with it. Here, I knew he was going to go here.
Let's look at the thing here.
John Fowler, if you're still watching, I want your opinion on this one.
I'll give him a link right now, and he can come on and all right. Did Joey Logano cost Kyle Larson a win? I am saying
I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I didn't see it.
No. Blaney won with an assist from Logano. That's my opinion on it. I don't think he cost
assist.
An assist.
Okay.
It's like Canadian hockey term, right? Ryan Blaney gets the goal with an assist from Logano. I mean, you know what? But I can't blame Joey Logano, guys. I mean,
No. Because
they were like 20 laps to go or 15 laps to go when he caught him. It was something like that anyway, right? And the thing is that he's on the lead lap. He has to race him hard because if the caution comes out, he comes in, gets fresh tires, and who knows? Maybe they make an adjustment and he can drive from where he was because there are only 14 cars finished on the lead lap.
Maybe I just don't like Joey Logano. Maybe that's what it is.
That might be your
well,
problem.
you don't.
I mean, be honest. Honestly, I mean, if Joey Logano didn't, I didn't say he manipulated the outcome, but I don't know. He could have got out of the way. But that's my honesty. Maybe I just don't like Joey Logano. I don't know.
My deal is, and I've always felt this way, is that you know what? When it's 10 laps to go or less, then as far as I'm concerned, if there's guys racing for the lead, you get the hell out of the way and let them duke it out like men. But if it's anything before 10 laps to go, you got to do what you got to do.
I know I'm gonna make Michael mad, but here we go. Maybe it was Joey Logano didn't like he was losing. And he's like, I'm gonna block the leader. I'm gonna be a blocker again. Didn't he learn his lesson? Didn't he learn his lesson at Daytona? Blocking his teammate.
I just think he was racing hard to stay on the lead lap because if the caution comes out, he's still on the lead lap. There was only 14 cars in the lead lap, I think, at the end of the race. So you know what? He comes in, Paul Wolf goes in there, makes that little bit of an adjustment, and you never know. Maybe he drives from 15th because they re-rack him up. He gets up to 8th or 9th, right? Because maybe his car was better on the short run.
I know that Willie listens to Door Bumper Clear.
Oh yeah, that's probably my favorite podcast.
And the new
majors
and the new caller theater that they got on there.
Yeah,
y'all would get a kick out of that this week.
I made it all the way up to that. I meant to call in, and I need to just tell TJ Majors, look, do not block for Joey Logano. Quit telling him to block.
That's all it was about.
Quit telling. Look, Joey Logano hater or not, I'm not a Joey Logano hater. I'm just saying the kid, all he wants to do is block.
I'm gonna go Freddie Kraft on this, and TJ Majors is the greatest.
Willie, you're saying that you're saying that you don't hate Joey Logano, right? Look behind you, son. That doesn't help your case very much.
Wait a second. Now you can see my little car is broke, right? It's got You've got some damaged parts right over here. Right over here. Look at that. Look at that right over there.
Exactly. But again, you're saying I don't hate Joey Logano. So when you lose the bet on fantasy, instead of putting up the championship picture that Michael sent you, which I know that I saw.
I wasn't putting that up.
You got that.
But I stuck to my guns, and I did put the crappy Jimmy Johnson picture behind me.
And you were supposed to put another picture up. Tell me I was wrong. Tell me you finished in the bottom of the. You didn't finish.
I meant to do it 2 weeks in a row, and somehow you beat me to it.
Well, put it this way, Michael.
Chase Elliott wants to blow a motor.
Put it this way, Michael. If we're going with our picks, Larson, Dillon, and Reddick, he's going to end up having to put that championship picture up next week anyway.
No, he's going to put one of these.
Oh, damn!
Why? After Arkansas loses in the Sweet 16?
No.
Listen. I've got to have them win in the Sweet 16, win in the Elite 8. They've got to make the Final Four, but I've got to have Baylor get beat. So y'all need to play a 12 seed.
We'll beat Oral Roberts, and I think we can beat Baylor. Villanova's the question mark.
Villanova's a question mark. Well, I
haven't really watched Villanova enough this year to know really what they're doing.
Well, either way, I don't want Arkansas to win it because if Arkansas wins it all, we'll have to spend the next 364 days listening to it. Well, you know who won the last year's championship?
Actually, you might have to listen to it to 700 something more days because, Arkansas could repeat.
And no. Michael, you got it all wrong. We're going to have to listen to Willie complain for 365 days after the charity race for having run that stinking Logano paint scheme.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Wait a second here. Oh. Yeah, he thinks Baylor's the one that's going to be tough.
I see it differently, though. Oklahoma State beat Baylor. We should have beat Oklahoma State at Oklahoma State.
Look, if you're going to go off of who beat who in the regular season, you can say that somebody beat somebody in.
Hands down, Oklahoma State was probably the best team coming into the tournament. The best team. They were hot. They were on fire. They were tough to beat. They played a really good game. And then Oregon State lit them up. Cade Cunningham didn't do worth the flip.
I want to ask you a question. I probably know the answer to it. Do you think that we should shrink the teams down to maybe 32 and have like a double elimination basketball tournament?
No, I think it should be expanded.
Well, you then you're going to let everybody in, right?
I think that if you expand it to, 84 teams,
Lord,
then you're allowing still some more of them smaller schools that have winning records. Instead, they don't even get an NIT tournament invitation. They should be rewarded for their season, and they don't get shit for it.
Yep, I agree.
There's a lot of Cinderellas that could be, but they don't get the chance.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and you might not like this one either. Loyola Chicago might be in that championship game.
They very well could be.
Yeah, they could be.
They've got a lot of experience back there, right? They was in the Final Four 2 years ago.
And it sucks because that coach was at ULR a few years ago, and that didn't work out.
All right, here's my question: why I say it needs to be kind of why are we doing double elimination with the baseball tournament and we can't do it with the basketball tournament, right? It's the same concept. Well,
it's because there's less teams. That's the only way I would see that it would be doing that. In baseball, you might get, an off game being your first game, and then you can come storming right back and get it rolling.
Well, same with the basketball game.
Yeah, that's true. It can happen in basketball as well. It'd be kind of like the NBA playoffs.
You know what, guys? I don't know a lot about this thing, right? But I like the one and done deal. You know what? Put up or shut up. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, well, they don't make enough Pepto-Bismol for me.
Yeah, tell me about it. You should have heard him on Friday night.
Look, I'm gonna be calling Michael when it comes to let's say next weekend, right? And be like, hey, Michael.
Don't bug him Saturday.
Are you on a watch? Are you on? Do we need to call the 1-800 number? No.
Sadly, Sunday Aiden was in TeamSpeak, and I didn't know he was in there, and Matt was in there, and I hadn't had my mic muted. Oh, they got to listen to me cuss, rant, and rave at the TV for an hour.
Well,
it was more entertaining than doing the race, and it really was.
I do have to say, my team, Western's still in the bid for the NIT championship, and we look pretty good for it. We play a team that we are very, very familiar with, and in La Tech tomorrow.
Well, all I can tell you, Willie, you better get a painter working on that Logano paint scheme. That's all I can tell you.
I tell you what, John Fowler, if you're listening, buddy, I'll have you paint it. I'll pay you to paint the Joey Logano scheme.
Oh.
Yep. You can put whatever you want. If you put John Fowler on the back of it, put a bullseye, whatever you want to put. That's as long as it's got Wounded Warriors on the hood, that's all I want. It's Wounded Warriors on the hood.
Yeah, that could replace the shell logos.
Yeah, I'll replace the shell logos. I can't run shell stuff. And so, but guys, man, it has been fun. I think this is probably our best show yet. I had a lot of fun talking to Hunter Wright, talking to Cole Williams, talking to Tyler Blankenship. Appreciate all three of them coming on. Trying to get some more guys on, local guys.
Well, and to any of our followers or anything like that, if there's guys that you'd like to see on and you can give us their contact information, let us know. We'll try to get them on.
Yeah, if you got a local guy that want to come on, we're all ears. I mean, shoot me a message on Facebook. I can contact them. All it takes is a yes or no. I can send them a link. They can come on. Any exposure is better than no exposure, in my opinion. We're here to, have fun with this. Also to help racers get more exposure to their sponsors. Right. That's my goal when I want to start.
Another thing that'll help us out, if you'll like, share, invite people to the page to like it, spread it out for us, help us. I mean, we do all we can do, and every little bit help us grow.
That's all it is. Help us grow, keep us
guys, we really appreciate all the comments that you guys are sending while we're talking about it and everything like that. And you guys are just as much a part of the show as we are. So
Yep. I appreciate everybody watching and stuff. And I'm hoping that we can get some more guys on and stuff. I'm talking to some Xfinity guys, trying to get one of them on. Their schedule is so tight though right now. I mean, simulator times and stuff like that, and stuff. But we're just having fun with this thing. I had fun tonight.
You're the main interviewer. I just sit and watch.
Yeah, no, he does a good job with the interviews and stuff like that. And
damn good job.
And Michael and I are just here to keep you in check when you start getting these crazy ass ideas about NASCAR.
Well, hey, I forgot to mention this. What about we've got to get rid of the grass, right? Did y'all see Josh Berry's car go like 8 foot in the air? It bent the rear clip, right?
Yeah.
It didn't beat it bent the front clip, and the track bar dug in and bent the rear clip.
Yeah.
So is it time to change all the grass to turf, or is
or remove the splitter?
Yeah.
You know what? The one thing that they talked about is that, when you looked at Atlanta and stuff like that, the big thing was the grass was so tall compared to the racetrack.
I ain't went back.
Oh, if you look at it, it's ridiculous. Like, it was way higher than the racetrack. And I guess the night after Barry's wreck, they spent the whole night working on that edge to try to get the grass lower than the racetrack. So at least when the car come in, it wasn't gonna immediately hit the splitter and take it out. I've heard a lot of drivers say it because Charlotte went to all turf for that area instead of the grass, and the drivers have all said. I
seen a picture of Marcus Smith. I reckon Marcus Smith and Josh Berry was together the next day, and I reckon they would kneel down and start looking at the Charlotte turf.
Yeah,
and I wish this was at Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, the turf, I think that's probably best option. I mean, I know it's expensive,
Josh made a mistake. He should have went down pit road.
Oh yeah.
And when he cut. But I'm sure he didn't think it was going to.
But Atlanta for sure has probably been the biggest track to take out the front ends along with Daytona. Yeah. That's probably the two biggest tracks that I've seen, because I can remember that. Remember that one wreck of Junior, I think it was in 14, where he just barely clipped the grass in the tri-oval, and it ripped the whole left front and ripped the oil cooler and the whole works out of the car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, before we close this, guys, any prizes up for NASCAR Fantasy this week? We doing anything?
Let's see. We're at Bristol Dirt. Let's do it. We're at Bristol Dirt. What do we think?
Well, no, for last week, we have to acknowledge that we got beat by Aiden Bush
Yeah, we got big bait.
He put a whooping on us.
He did.
On that win.
I'll send. I forgot to send Aiden his prize from that last week. We're gonna do a prize this week. After this week, I think we're just gonna tone it back to nothing but crown jewels. Right? Let's invest a little bit of money into crown jewels only, not just so we're not spreading it out because it's hurting the end prize, right? So I'm thinking we're just give up all the crown jewels as be a prize. But this week, I consider this week a crown jewel. I'd say let's do $25 for the winner. I think we'll do $25 for the winner, and stuff. So all the guys that do fantasy, it ain't too late. You can still jump on there. You might not win the season prize, but you can come
pinned on our page. You can
it's pinned on our page. You can come steal our money. Yeah, I think $25 would be good. I'm gonna try to. For the Coke 600, I'm gonna try to wrap up and grab. I'd say I'm gonna try to get like a NASCAR piece of metal off of a NASCAR racing warehouse. I'm gonna try to get a piece of metal to give out for the Coke 600. That or an autograph hat or something. We'll give out something worth some little value with that.
And part of the championship to the fantasy league will be a fantasy trophy deal.
Yes.
Yep.
There will be a fantasy trophy.
Yep.
And stuff. But yeah, we'll give $25 this week, and after this week, next big event will be the Coke 600. I think that's the next one. The crown jewel, and then we'll do nothing but crown jewels. We'll make sure it's worthwhile. I'd like to see that fantasy grow. We only got 12, 15 guys in it. 12 guys in the fantasy.
Got 13.
Got 13 in there. So
13.
If you're not in the fantasy NASCAR, all you're doing is picking 5 drivers in a garage pick, and you're picking who wins. The winner of the race does not have to be in your lineup. That's where a lot of people don't realize, and they put the winner of the race. I'm gonna hit bank.
What do you boys think about with the Pocono doubleheader that we'll do some kind of a double down deal on that?
I'm down for that. We'll do that. Guy wins both of them.
No. I'm gonna add a stipulation in here.
Oh, okay,
Guy wins both of them. You got to use the same picks both races.
Oh, wow!
Got to have the same 5 guys for both races.
So you say the guy that won the first race, he has to use the same picks for the second race.
You want to double down? You got to use the same picks for both races at the Pocono doubleheader.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
And then we'll put up a good price for you guys if you decide to do if you decide to play the Pocono double down.
Yep. I think that'll be good. Yeah. And good luck to Oral Roberts this week. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh, jeez. Why do you do this to him? Like, honestly, why do you do this to him?
Sorry, he's going to show up Friday night at his favorite track.
Fairgrounds. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get off here. Appreciate everybody watching. Great show. Best one yet. We're going to get some more guests on here, and we're going to see who wins Bristol. Let's hope it's Tyler Reddick. I don't want to, Yeah. But no, let's see how Bristol goes. I'm hoping we have a lot to talk about, and it's not a caution fest. Yeah, I got you, Josh. I got you. Shots fired. Oral Roberts, I got you. But y'all have a good one. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Michael.
You bet.
Yeah, you bet. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, see y'all.